Next week, TopMedTalk is live at Anesthesia 2019. Experts from around the world with the latest advances in anesthesia, pain, and perioperative medicine help to shape the future of the specialty in the UK and beyond. Go to topmedtalk.com and check out the show notes to this podcast. Limited places remaining on Wednesday, the 22nd of May to Anesthesia 2019. Go to www.topmedtalk.com.
TopMedTalk. Welcome to the Sunday special on TopMedTalk. It's a potpourri of our favourite longer pieces, ideal for downloading and enjoying when you have a little bit more time. TopMedTalk.
Hello, I am Desiree Chappell, and this is TopMedTalk. I'm here with Monty Mythen, Editor-in-Chief of TopMedTalk. Monty, how are you?
Good, Desiree.
We have Avital O'Glasser. Avi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Well, just to give you a little bit of intro here, Avi is an associate professor of internal medicine. She's the medical director of preoperative medicine clinic, and she is an assistant program director within the internal medicine program at the Oregon Health and Science University. That's a mouthful.
It is. We like to shorten it to OHSU.
OHSU, I like it. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Twitter is ablaze.
It is ablaze.
With SPAQI. Tell us a little bit about what your motivation for reaching out into the social media sphere and how it's working out for SPAQI this year.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I know you've been sitting down with experts. I've been walking past or even listened to some of the episodes from yesterday, and it just, there's so much incredible perioperative content. So I think a lot of people might go, why are you talking about Twitter at a multidisciplinary international?
Yeah, you actually are giving a presentation
I'm doing a
today.
Breakout session this afternoon. And how does social media, especially Twitter, fit in with perioperative medicine? And actually, that's how I got into Twitter. Almost 4 years ago, exactly. I actually looked it up yesterday. My Twitter birthday will be February 26th.
That's awesome.
And I was very hesitant. I was very skeptical to join Twitter. I'd been a longtime Facebook member, and one of my colleagues, who is she's very active. She's world renowned now for point of care ultrasound, was using Twitter to connect with colleagues. So this was a burgeoning field. Wasn't really housed in any particular specialty. So it was multidisciplinary from the beginning, international. And she was using social media to share information in real time through free open access. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, gosh, that seems really applicable to perioperative medicine, multidisciplinary, international, cutting edge. And even if I had unlimited CME funds from my institution, I don't have the bandwidth to subscribe to every medicine or every hospitalist journal, every surgery journal, every anesthesia journal. And even if I said, well, I don't need the money, I can go to my institution library and use the digital access. I don't have the bandwidth or the time to look at every e-table of contents. Mm-hmm. So let me go to a platform where people are exchanging information in real time. There's access to experts. There's access to discussions. And when I joined, I had no idea just how potent and powerful it could be. And it's been a really wonderful 4 years that has led to a lot of professional opportunities for myself, for my mentees, for my colleagues.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with SPAQI or the summit?
So I think I first joined SPAQI about 4 or 5 years ago through word of mouth. At least one of my colleagues had attended, was a member. And again, I was looking for that I don't want to say path of least resistance, but that access point, that sort of point of entry to access to this multidisciplinary field. And it just the work they were doing, the newsletter, the website seemed intriguing, and especially as junior faculty at that time, still sort of junior-ish faculty, but really junior faculty 4 or 5 years ago, seeing that they had scholarship opportunities, or opportunities to present scholarship, I should say, seeing that they had the poster venue, chance to meet people in it's a great size conference, but still it's very intimate, and you can and the experts are really approachable here. I said, let me stick my neck out, because there aren't a lot of opportunities for young hospitalist faculty to get posters out there, to get abstracts out there. What have I got to lose?
Yeah.
And the first time I came to the meeting 3 years ago was career changing. It really was.
Oh,
in a good way.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's been a lot of posters here, haven't there?
There are a lot. I understand that it was a record number this year, at least a record number of submissions.
Yeah.
I think I've seen about 50 posters.
I think
which
so.
is
That's a ton. Yeah, it really was. So how did you reach out to SPAQI and say, I think we need to get onto the social media, onto social media to start increasing your network and your reach, or how did that kind of come about? How did you get involved with that?
So they actually reached out to me. Kurt Pfeiffer and Angie Edwards reached out to me just over a year ago because they knew that I was active on social media, and they said, we'd like you to take over the SPAQI Twitter account. And I said, I'm up to the challenge. I had worked not just on my personal Twitter account, but I had been behind the scenes and even involved from the time of creation with a couple of programmatic or institutional accounts. Oh. So I had that breadth of experience with not just tweeting as an individual physician, but how do you represent an organization, or how do you represent a program? So our internal medicine residency program has I'm a little biased, but a fantastic Twitter account. That was really my foray into the field. So we looked at, I accepted the challenge through the communications committee, and we looked at what the needs of the society are, what the needs of both the society to reach its members or potential members, or people practicing perioperative medicine. What do they need from the society in terms of information and access to communications? There are a couple of sort of broad themes that will apply to social media or med Twitter, hashtag med Twitter, as people like to call it. Okay. I like to get meta. So I'm at the point now where I've been on Twitter long enough that I'm not just using it, but I'm analyzing it. I'm working with some wonderful colleagues who are specialists in medical education, and we're actually applying adult learning theory. We're applying other educational principles, other communication principles to Twitter, and saying, we think it works, but let's really analyze why it works. Or when we say you should use it, this is why it actually is effective, or you feel like you're walking away from it, feel like you got something out of it, but you're having trouble justifying it. So you're figuring out. So one of the themes is there was a publication in Journal of General Internal Medicine in 2015, looking at specifically Twitter use by medical students, and the themes that they identified were access and voice. And that's a theme and I use those words a lot when I talk about what I enjoy about Twitter. So you have trainees, you have junior members of the profession who have access to experts, to content, to real-time content, just in terms of studies that have been discussed at this conference. So Manage has gotten a lot of discussion. METS has gotten a lot of discussion. Manage was published 11 months ago, or presented at ACC 11 months ago. METS was published in June. So great, we had an update talk here. That's fantastic. People are really hearing expert analysis of content, but it's still months later. So thanks to social media, when Manage was presented as a late-breaking abstract at ACC last March, people were tweeting it in real time. Mm-hmm. The slide deck, the link to the slide deck was shared that afternoon. So I'm across the country at home, and I'm already looking at the data the day it's released. When METS was published, Rupert Pierce tweeted it that morning. I woke up in Portland and saw that it had been published, and everyone had been anticipating it. So that's really exciting. And then you also have a chance for people to discuss the content in real time. So I'm seeing Steve and Kurt talking about it in real time. So I'm getting expert commentary in addition to the invited commentary. It might be in the journal very quickly. Yeah. So there's that access and voice. So trainees have voice. They members of the attending, senior attendings, junior attendings, residents have a voice. They can disseminate their work. They can get it to a larger audience than just a journal. Yeah, that's fantastic.
The one of the terms we've heard from the teams in Europe tweeting is the democratisation of education. Is that fair comment?
I think it is. I don't know that I've ever heard that word. I like that this is, again, an international attendance at this audience. One of my good friends who I met on Twitter, and the thing, people say, well, does it actually lead to anything substantive? And a lot of people will raise their hands and say, yes, it led to this work group, it led to this workshop presentation. A lot of the, at least the U.S. meetings, like to accept workshop submissions from a multi-institution team. They don't just want it to be from one institution. So I have done scholarship, and it's not just padding my CV, but I have had incredible professional opportunities because I have met with and started networking with people outside of my institution. But somebody I met on Twitter says, or I don't know if he coined the phrase, but he certainly uses it a lot, and this will be a screen grab of this in my breakout session. Twitter flattens hierarchies. Yeah. But I like democratize too.
I can't remember who. We'll have to work out who to attribute it to. But democratizing education is a great strapline.
Yeah, it totally is. The other piece that we like to talk about on TopMedTalk is like the foam med, the free access, or
free open access,
medical education, and I think that that's coming out of social media.
Absolutely.
So we try and live stream all of our meetings now because
That's exciting.
We think our mission is to share, everything. Because we had some fantastic sessions today, but to just have the 300 people in the room listening rather than the thousands that want to listen just seems a waste.
And I think that was one of the ways that the physician or the healthcare profession did quickly embrace Twitter. So the hashtag meeting tweeting, that people were tweeting out content. And a lot of conference organizers or skeptics might say, well, is that just going to dissuade people from paying the conference registration, attending in person, making the trip? And the answer is no. Like, it's still not the same as attending in person, but it's far better than nothing. And I've been going around the lobby excitedly before I sat down with you. One of my residents from Portland, Oregon, who has been following the meeting hashtag. Yeah. He was in his clinic at his internal medicine clinic yesterday, had a pre-op consult on somebody who was not coming through the pre-op clinic, but was going through the primary care clinic. And he's been following, and he is actually asking follow-up questions about the METS trial from 3,000 miles away synchronously. So that's the thing. You'll hear people talk about working on Twitter synchronously and asynchronously.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's one, because that question about the fact that people won't come to meetings because you make access to it free and seamless, that's not been the SPAQI experience, the social media and critical care. Huge increase in numbers by just making, if you're not in the room, you can listen to it all. It's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And on one of our promo videos, we have a quote from somebody that says, if the Rolling Stones are on the radio, it doesn't make you not want to go to them.
Yeah. Exactly. If anything, it may pique interest where you can see. You can see. So I attended the meeting, SPAQI, the summit for the first time 3 years ago. I had to miss the year after. Was following the hashtag, and I was living vicariously, FOMO is real, fear of missing out. But I was at least able to feel like I got some snippets of content from afar, and then was all the more excited to attend again the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Twitter is alive and well.
I think it is. Well, especially within healthcare.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of appropriate negative criticism of social media, but I think healthcare and healthcare professionals have really channeled it into something very productive.
I think it's been easier to navigate kind of the concrete part of medicine and healthcare versus just opinions. I think sometimes this person is credible, I'm listening to them kind of thing. But, we are going to wrap it up because the next session is getting ready to start, and you're going to be up on the stage soon in your breakout session.
I'm going to do a breakout session, yeah. Well, then we can catch up on Twitter. Asynchronously.
Maybe at the same time.
That's hilarious. Excuse me, Abby, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we look forward to kind of following SPAQI through Twitter and the social media sphere, and it looks like good things are happening. So
more to come.
Thanks to you guys. Yep. All right. Cheers. Thanks for listening.
TopMedTalk.
Reba Jerrison here. Thanks for listening to TopMedTalk. Now, before we let you go, it's important that we remind you to subscribe to TopMedTalk. That way you'll never, ever miss another episode. Also, if we could encourage you to join us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, pretty much every single social media platform, we're there. Join us. And finally, check out TopMedTalk.com. If you go to our website, you can subscribe to email updates. That way we can always tell you where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, and how you can join us. TopMedTalk.com, and click on the section marked email updates. Finally, TopMedTalk is proud to act as the broadcasting arm of EBPOM, Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. We'd love you to find out more about them as well. ebpom.org is their website. That's ebpom.org. And if you go to ebpom.org/meetings, you can find out about some of the wonderful meetings that we attend and cover across the year here on TopMedTalk. That's ebpom.org/meetings.